It's cool. No work, huge payoff. All right, today's the day. We're trying to use up some, total brain fart, complete shutdown, system failure. Let me try that again. I'm planting some corn today. I'm trying to use up some seed packets that are about half used up. That was a total system failure brain fart right there. All right, I'm gonna go out there and play in the dirt. Good morning, beautiful people. It is a kind of overcast, muggy, feels like a summer day. Honestly, it feels like June, and we're only in the middle of April. So, on that note, middle of April and all that, we're getting some corn planted. People are gonna freak out and be like, oh, you're planting all sorts of different varieties. Yes, we are. We are not saving seed from this corn. This is all sweet corn. We will consume this corn quite rapidly. So this is Brett's project bed right here. He's gonna plant a whole bunch of watermelon and stuff like that, and he's got a whole bunch of seeds started. But today we need to start some corn. So we're gonna, I don't know what, like a third of this is gonna be corn?
Probably.
I'm happy.
You're happy? How come?
Because I like corn.
So me and Brett got out here Sunday afternoon and got this all plowed up and ready. It's a little chunky still. I could probably run the rototiller over it. Last year and the year prior, every year we've done it, we've hilled everything for our corn. This year we're gonna try something different. We're actually just gonna make some lines, plant the corn in the lines, and just kind of leave it flat, leave it the way it lies. The last couple times we've done corn and we've made hills, we plant in the hills and they dry out, and they dry out real bad. Because of where we're at, you can kind of see we're kind of in like a valley right here. These are basically the drainage ditches that were put in nearly 100 years ago. And what they do is they just kind of catch the water and slowly let the water off the property. Well, as we've come in here and started growing, the bottoms of these are very, very fertile. They have very good soil. I mean, within reason. It's not the best, but it's better than trying to grow at the top of the hill, because at the top of the hills, there's no topsoil. Down in the bottom right here, we have, 6 inches, a foot in some places of topsoil. So we got this all prepped. We added some amendments on Sunday. We brought in a whole bunch of compost, got that in. So we're just gonna stick the corn in, see how it goes. We have grown going this way, we've grown going this way. We're gonna try doing the corn this way this year, and we're gonna do a block. We're just gonna do a square of corn. Last time, actually where the garlic currently is residing, that was our corn bed last year, and we left the rows pretty much where they are for the garlic. That was where we grew the corn, and it did okay. I noticed that the ones on the edges didn't get pollinated very well, whereas the ones in the middle were great big ears of corn. Really, really good pollination. So, enough talking. I'm gonna get planting. All right, we're trying something different. Just doing it flat, punching holes, dropping the seed in. Honestly, I think it'll work. I did an experiment last year where, you know, we did the hills and valleys, and I went and planted some corn in the valleys. That corn was up first and outperformed the stuff that was on the hills. So doing this year, we're gonna just level the playing field, if you will, and plant everything in the same plane. This whole valley right here, I'm not gonna say it floods, but when we have like really big rain events, which we're bound to have, this will catch water. It doesn't sit like standing water. The water does move all the way down. That's downhill towards the swamp, but it's not like a torrent or river. So I'm not really worried about my corn washing away. In fact, once it's up, it will actually help hold soil, hopefully. I think about the only other thing that we're gonna get in here and do is we might spread some hay or leaves or something just to keep the weeds down. But we'll wait until after the corn pops up, which could be in a couple days, could be in a couple weeks. We'll see. I've had corn pop up in like 2 or 3 days, and then sometimes it takes 2 weeks. So we will see. We will get out here and mulch this later. Plowing this, we have some implements that a viewer gave us, and we hooked them up to the lawnmower and dragged them with the lawnmower, and they actually do a pretty good job of plowing, as you can see, but they kind of leave dirt clods. This is real heavy clay out here still. We keep adding organic matter, and it is getting better. It's breaking up the clay a lot, but it's still pretty heavy clay. We'll get there. Really the best thing for it is to come out here and do like we've done with the potatoes and the onions or garlic. We just keep mulching heavy with leaves and hay and whatever we've got, and it's working. It's breaking up the clay, making it nice, rich. It's real dark. It's already changed shades. It's a lot darker now. Really nice soil. The thing I've noticed is, like out here, we didn't really find very many earthworms while we were, you know, disking all of the weeds under. But over here, where we've done like heavy mulching, the earthworms are just amazing. So, like I've been saying for quite a few months now, we are working on transitioning to more of a no-till. Just honestly, it's a little bit easier. But I will say, for our particular situation, tilling and getting everything into the soil, getting the soil broken up from what it was really the fastest way to grow food. But now that, you know, we've done some work, we can kind of start backing off a little bit, and we'll just keep, you know, deep mulch on our beds. Honestly, it's a lot easier not having to come out here and pull weeds. Like you can see, we have all of the potatoes up. They're kind of sparse. They're not doing as good as I had hoped, but the weeds out here are minimal. Like it would probably take 10 minutes to weed this whole bed. So very much looking forward to mulching. All right, I'm gonna go inside and probably eat some lunch. That didn't take as long as I thought, but it took longer than I expected because we ended up tilling. All right, had some lunch, took a small break, watched the thunderstorm that is like blowing by to the north of us. We're not getting any rain, but I keep hearing decent claps of thunder. Maybe you'll hear some in the background. So what I have here is onion starts. We had a hard time finding some onion starts when our onion seed did not do very good, so we kind of panic bought some onion starts. Johnny's Seeds was the only place we could find some, and we just ordered what was in stock. We got some Red Wing, we got some Patterson, we got some Leeks. I'm not sure if they're short or long day length onions. It was just what was in stock. Basically what I'm gonna do with them is I'm just gonna stick them in various places that they'll fit. I've got this bed right here. This is full of beets. We planted a whole bunch of beets, and looking at I believe it's the How to Grow More Vegetables book, it's got all the companion planting. Hey Mag, hey, what's the book with all the companion planting? Oh, okay. Okay, it's the Carrots Love Tomatoes book. It's a companion planting compendium. No, it's a book that Meg has literally had for like 12, 14, 15 years. She's had this book for a long time. And anytime we want to know what grows good with what, just turn to that book and you can look up your vegetables and it'll tell you what goes good with what. So, reading that book, you can plant onions with your beets. Apparently they're friends, they like each other. So, I'm gonna stick some onions in here because some of these beets didn't germinate very well and they're kind of sparse. So, I'll just stick some onions in here, kind of fill out the empty spaces. I've already got some onions in here. You can see them poking up down there. Those are a couple walking onions. Meg said she wants some more red onions kind of stashed everywhere. Red onions don't keep very well, not as good as the yellow onions. So those are probably the ones that we will cook down and eat immediately after they've grown. Pull out the weed, throw in the onion. All right, not that you can really tell because they're so tiny, but there's a whole bunch of purple onions in there with all those beets. I hope they get along just fine. I hope they all grow very large. I'm actually going to take some of these onions and go down to the Hugelkulture bed, the Hugel mound that's out there in the dugout, and I am going to plant some onions of various kinds out there. I guess I'll head down there and I'll talk about it. These are actually last year's red onions that they needed to be planted. I forgot about them. I had a bag, like I had planted out some onions. I had a bag of what was left. They sat around for like 2 months. It was on up towards like July, August, something like that. And I took what was left, brought them out here, put them in the Hugel mound. For those of you who don't know, a Hugel mound, you basically layer a whole bunch of logs, rotten wood, whatever you got, and then cover it in dirt, compost, garden soil, whatever you've got. And the logs actually kind of hold on to moisture like a big sponge. They encourage fungal growth, and it's really an interesting way to grow. It's kind of like making a garden bed out of just junk. And so, you know, as you can see behind me, I've got a lot of just rotten lumber. And so I pulled a whole bunch of that down, piled it up, covered it up with some dirt and compost. And it's growing better than some of my garden beds up there. Like, I have been pleasantly surprised. Basically, the way I've used this is at the end of the season, if I have a whole bunch of something that didn't get eaten, didn't get used, I just bury it in here. So in this case, I had a whole bunch of what I thought were potatoes that were too dry to use. Like, they were sprouted potatoes and then they just shriveled over the winter and were just dry little husks, and even their little sprout looked too dry to grow. So rather than just throw them out, throw them in the compost pile or whatever, they get one last shot at living. And so I brought them out here, I added some more compost and, you know, soil, laid some on, piled up the potatoes in a long row, and then covered them with more soil and compost. And as you can see, there's probably about 100 of them that were still viable. And it was all the like little teeny tiny seed potatoes, you know, little underdeveloped potatoes that come up when you grow your own potatoes. So I'm gonna just throw just a handful of onions in here in this hill. What's it gonna hurt? Take out a weed, put in a leek. So pretty much my number one rule for growing in this Hugel mound is I just look for cracks.
Put stuff in the cracks.
And I just put stuff in the cracks. And
I'm gonna go look for more dips.
my rule with the Hugel mound is like, you're either gonna grow or you're gonna become part of the Hugel mound. So if you wanna grow, grow here. If you don't wanna grow, turn to food for the stuff that does want to grow. This is kind of an ongoing project. If I continue to be surprised with how well it does, then I'm just gonna keep adding to it. Last year, it was basically 2 scoops with the tractor wide. So, what is it, a 5 foot, so 10 feet Not even. Like, it's not even 10 feet. I would say maybe a solid 8 feet is how wide this bed was. And as much as, you know, dumping a scoop with the tractor widened out, that's how wide it was. This year, I doubled it. I went behind it, piled up some wood, got some more dirt, dumped a scoop there, and voila, like that's it. If it continues to work out, I'm just gonna go all the way back to the dugout. Like it is, I've been pleasantly surprised. It's little to no work. I'm literally burying rotten wood, so it's kind of like using the materials at hand for something kind of cool. It's cool. No work, huge payoff. All right, I'll try that again. I picked up the camera. I was sitting here talking to Meg. I forgot to hit the record button, so I'm just talking to a camera that's not recording.
That's right.
Like, it happens every now and then.
It does, it does.
All right, I can't make the same jokes again. They just aren't funny.
No.
I can't say the same things again,
No.
so
Take two.
I can try. So, since it's dinner time,
It is dinner
and
time.
Meg is in her natural habitat,
That's right. I'm making dinner.
making dinner.
So,
I'm not gonna make you reenact the chicken. Tell me about the chicken since
Okay.
it's already out.
yeah, I just pulled out the chicken. So this is bread and butter chicken. That's what I call it. My mom used to make a similar dish, and she did it with boneless, skinless chicken thighs, which is bomb that way. It's really good. I was too lazy to bone these, so we're just having chicken leg quarters. Super easy. Season the chicken. I actually just did salt today, and then bread it in breadcrumbs. And drizzle butter all over the top of it so it's all like saturated in butter, and then cook it for about 2 hours at 375 until they're done.
Like that looks delicious.
Yeah, it's real good. It's cooked in butter. I mean, you can't really argue with that. And then we've got green beans these are ours. We grew these this last year, and snapped them and canned them, and now we're gonna eat them. These will be pretty quick and easy. And then I have barley couscous. We don't love this. I bought it from Azure on a whim because we wanted couscous, and this was all they had at the time. And it doesn't taste like couscous. It tastes like barley.
We call it barely couscous.
Barely couscous.
Because it's couscous-like.
Yeah.
But it is not couscous.
It's not bad. It's not like distasteful. It's just like it's not couscous, so it's not like something we love completely.
Tastes like you're just eating a bowl of barley.
Basically, yeah.
Like you could probably doctor it up and eat it for breakfast as porridge.
That would probably be really good, actually, yeah. With like brown sugar and milk
Yeah,
and that
yeah.
kind of thing. But we have a little bit left, so I'm gonna use up what I can, and we'll eat it with dinner. We'll just douse it in butter, the chicken. And then these will be just reheated with some butter as well. So pretty quick and easy. Pretty simple. Actually, you're lucky you're getting sides tonight, because I was like, I'm just gonna cook chicken. It'll be fine.
Just chicken. We're on the carnivore diet tonight.
I know, except for the bread.
Well, it's almost
Mostly
there.
carnivore, yeah. But then I was like, well, I really should feed people vegetables or something to go with it. So
I mean,
there we are.
I love green beans.
Yeah.
Like, personally, I could eat green beans with every single meal.
I could fresh. Like, I love them fresh out of the garden and sauteed with some garlic. It's just like, oh my gosh, I could eat that. I'm very ready for green beans. But we have canned today, so it is what it is. So I'll just heat these up very quickly. They really don't take very long to heat up with some butter and salt and pepper.
Well, good.
So I'm just waiting for this to boil, and then we'll cook that and be ready.
All right.
My only complaint with canned green beans is that they're so fragile. So you have to like very gently stir them. Otherwise they just kind of turn to green bean mush.
We don't like mashed green beans.
No, it's not my jam.
Although I will eat them cold.
You will.
You can let them sit next to the pan and just kind of warm up a little bit, and I'll still eat them.
You will, yeah.
Eat them 9 days old.
Not my thing, but yeah, you might eat them 9 days old.
All right. Everything is ready. Let's do some eating.
Dear Heavenly Father, thank you for today.
That's some sticky chicken.
That's some green beans.
All right. Dinner was a hit. A certain little blonde is devouring everything.
She is.
Were you hungry? She was grumpy.
Angry.
Hangry. All right. That is going to do it for us for today, so we will catch you guys on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.